My name is Leilani Thatcher, a tour guide to the Library of Lost Things. This is The Doorstep Project, Episode 18, The Apartment Complex. This collection of emails, notes, texts, and newspaper articles came in a box a few years ago. We fact-checked it then, but it sat on a shelf after that. It will be going up on display for the first time at the end of this week. The Cedar Fire burned through San Diego County, California from October 25th to November 5th, 2003. 2,820 buildings burned down, a majority of them residential. One of these was the Stillmoon apartment complex, a small apartment complex in Cuyamaca, Cuyamaca? My sources say it's pronounced Cuyamaca or Cuyamaya, and by sources I mean Google and Reddit. Anyway, the Stillmoon Apartments had 15 tenants at the time of the fire. We have physical correspondence from... Correspondence? That sounds stupid. Let's see. We have conversations from this small group of people that tell a strange story. That's a little better, I guess. Let's start. There's a note in the box that says everything was found in a hope chest, charred but not destroyed, in room 102 of the apartment complex. Apparently someone compiled this story for us and sent it over, including text and email records printed out. We start this story 1 year before the fire, early November of 2002. A note from resident Taylor May to an unnamed resident on the first floor directly below Miss May. Dear Sir or Madam, this is Taylor May from 202, directly above you. I moved in a few weeks ago, and I've noticed a sound that keeps me awake. I know the official quiet time isn't until 10 p.m., but I leave early for work, and the noise has been keeping me up. It's like this long, repeated creaking noise. I assumed it was the pipes, but it sounds like an old rocking chair I used to have. If this is from your apartment, please don't use the chair at night. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. A text conversation between Taylor May and a fellow resident. The only name that we have for her now is Callie. I will read it like a script. Taylor, what are your plans for Thanksgiving this year? Callie, I might invite the family from 102. It always smells like snickerdoodles when I walk by. Taylor, snickerdoodles? Callie, yeah, haven't you noticed? Taylor, no, I guess I don't pay much attention. Callie, my grandma used to make snickerdoodles every time I'd come to visit. Taylor, have you met the family? Callie, no, I'll go introduce myself sometime this week. The text conversation continued a few days later. Callie, it's an older woman named Mavis. She's super sweet. You should meet her sometime. The next part of our story continues a few days before Thanksgiving, November 17th. A note left from Mr. and Mrs. Wells from Callie. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Wells. This is Callie from 204, and I'd like to invite you to Thanksgiving. I came by to tell you in person, but I haven't been able to get a hold of you. Call me if you would like to join us. A day after this note was dated, an obituary was published in the local newspaper. I have it here. Timothy Wells, age 79, died Monday, November 17th, 2002. Timothy was born in Fernley, Nevada in 1924 on September 7th. He married his wife, Jenny Wells, in San Diego in 1948. He is survived by his wife and his 3 children. His graveside service will be held on Monday, November 24th at Evergreen Cemetery. A thank you note from Mrs. Wells to Mavis. Dear Mavis, thank you for your kind words at my husband's funeral. I was very upset to see you there in such a bright outfit, but I now see what I saw as a distraction, you saw as respect. I hope we can become friends in the future. Sincerely, Jenny Wells. There are a few conversations between Taylor and Callie about Mavis through the next few months, and more notes and emails between Mavis and Jenny. All 4 became good friends. The next important instance takes place on April 5th, 2003. Another obituary published in the local newspaper. Robert Bobby Lowley, age 5, died Thursday, April 1st, 2003. Bobby passed suddenly and is survived by his mother, Mila Lowley, and her 2 children. His memorial service was held on Sunday in their apartment, where friends and family shared heartfelt stories. There's a picture in here from the memorial service. The people in the picture are not identified by the newspaper, but we believe that the women and the children that are standing by the table are most likely the Lowly family. Many friends are in the room, but in the back, there is a small group of 4 women. The first 2 are young, maybe in their 20s, facing the camera, but not looking at it. Instead, they are talking to an older woman, perhaps in her 50s or 60s. The last woman is standing at the foot of the coffin, staring in. Though the picture is black and white, you can tell she is wearing a brighter color than all the other guests. She has a smile on her face, and she seems to be talking. The other people in the room don't pay her any attention. I wouldn't even mention it if I didn't have such a weird job, but the edges of Mavis, or who I assume is Mavis, are fuzzy, kind of blurry, almost like she's faded into the background. The next document is a thank you note from Miss Lowly to Mavis. Dear Mavis, thank you for your kind words at the funeral. Jenny had warned me you would wear bright green, and she explained why. When I saw you come in, I was so touched to see how much you valued my child's life. I could feel him standing there when you spoke, and I will always be grateful for that. I hope you enjoy these cookies. Your friend, Mila Lowly. Next, an email to the landlord from Theodore Lotman dated June 8th, 2003. To Jeffrey Sullivan, subject, apartment 102. Mr. Sullivan, I've been hearing a cat next door in room 102. I went to confront Mavis about the cat, but she insists that there was never a cat in her apartment, and she won't let me go in to see for myself. I am sure she is hiding a cat. If she is hiding a cat, I expect an apology for forcing me to get rid of my cat. Theodore Lotman, apartment 103. The landlord's response. Mr. Lotman, I'm sure you saw me checking in on Mavis yesterday. I did a full search for a cat, but I found no evidence of a cat or any other animal. Thank you for your concern. Jeffrey Sullivan. July 7th, 2003. An obituary for Mr. Lotman was published in the newspaper. It was written and submitted by Mavis. Theodore Lotman, age 89, passed away Friday, July 2nd. He passed quietly in his sleep and was found in his apartment, a cat sleeping peacefully on his chest. Theodore was born and raised in Kiamaya to Father Theodore and Mother Marge. He's survived by his cat, Jake, who is being kept by the Lowly family and is now affectionately called Snuffles. Jeffrey was an auto mechanic for most of his life, begrudgingly retiring at age 80. A memorial will be held in his honor on Friday, July 9th, in apartment 102 of the Still Moon apartment complex. Everyone is welcome to join us and invited to wear green to celebrate his life. There was a framed picture found in the bottom of the hope chest. The picture contains a large group of people, almost all of which are wearing green and black. I recognize the Lowly family, Jenny Wells, Taylor, Callie, and of course Mavis. She stood in the center of the photo wearing a vibrant green dress and a dark green scarf tied around her head. One of the Lowly children is holding a cat. Mavis is holding a black and white photo of a middle-aged man in front of a garage. With all this information, we can infer very little. We know that Mavis's apartment smells like snickerdoodles, sounds like rocking chairs and cats, and that she wears a lot of green to funerals. Overall, a vague story about an old woman in green who confuses everyone she talks to. But we have one more piece to this story. 2 days before the fire overtook the apartment, Mavis mailed an envelope to the newspaper. It arrived the day after the Stillman apartments and 7 of their tenants were lost to history. The envelope included 6 obituaries. Jenny Wells, Callie Miller, Taylor May, Mara Sullivan, Trey Ross, and Andrew Kim. These obituaries were published together in the newspaper. I'll just read Taylor's. Taylor May, age 24, passed away on Thursday, October 30th, in the Cedar Fire. She is survived by her mother, Lillian, and father, Robert. She was caught in the Stillman apartments, unable to evacuate in time. She will always be remembered. Her memorial will be held at a future undetermined date. 1 month later, the 8 remaining tenants of the apartment gathered together to remember their friends. According to a journal entry from Mila Lowly, everyone wore green in honor of Mavis. But Mavis's body was never found. An obituary was published listing her as a victim of the Cedar Fires, but she was never recovered. Those who evacuated swears she stayed behind, but we'll never know for sure. I did a little research on Jeffrey Sullivan and Mila Lowly. Mr. Sullivan now lives in southern Arizona and declined to comment on Mavis or his time in the Still Moon apartment complex, though he did say that he had never met a kinder woman than Mavis. Mila Lowly passed away 6 months ago. She was living in San Francisco with her 2 children, now older. There's a picture of the memorial on the funeral home website and a picture of the funeral party. Many of the guests are wearing shades of green. There's a short note below the picture. When we lived in the Still Moon apartments, our younger brother Bobby passed away. One of our neighbors showed up wearing all green. She explained to the group that green was the color of life. I remember she said, "I always believed that death would wear green instead of black and bring flowers instead of a weapon. Death respects our life, so we should celebrate it. And when death comes, invite it to the funeral." The woman never knew Bobby, but she expressed her respect for his life in many ways. My mother's final wish was that we would all wear green to her funeral and invite death to celebrate her life. It's an interesting take on the idea of death. Okay, you're being recorded. Can you say that again?
Sure, yeah. My name is Mavis. I heard you were telling the story of the Still Moon apartments this week.
The episode hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah, well, I have connections. I've heard the recording. I can't wait to listen to the episode. I think it'll be great.
And you're Mavis. Like, Mavis, the old lady?
I'm old when I need to be, but yes. I was the older woman in the photo you have.
Can you prove it?
Probably not. But I wanted to tell you that you missed something.
There wasn't anything else in the box.
I'm sure there is. I swear it was in the box. Maybe...
Wait, you sent this box?
Years ago. It's not the only box I've sent to the library, actually.
What?
I haven't sent every box you have. I think I sent 2 or 3 over the years. Another one should be coming soon, actually. Oh, I forgot to put it in the box. I'll send it out this week, then. Sorry about that.
Who are you?
I'm Dev.
Thank you for listening to The Doorstep Project. This audio drama was created and produced by Family Friendly Podcasts. If you enjoyed the podcast, leave a rating and review on your podcast app of choice or share it with a friend. Leilani and the project will be back next week. Until then, write every day. One day your story could be in a museum. The Doorstep Project is produced by Family Friendly Podcasts. It was written, edited, and performed by AJ Barton. Sound effects for this podcast are provided by Zapsplat. Music used in this podcast includes Reawakening by Kevin McLeod, licensed under the Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 license. You can learn more at his website, incompetech.com, or at creativecommons.org. Both music and sound effects have been changed and edited by AJ Barton. Links for websites, information, and contact can be found in the description of the episode. Would you like to submit your story or art to the Doorstep Project? You can find information for story submission at familyfriendlypodcast.com/The Doorstep Project. Information on CC by 4.0 licenses can be found at creativecommons.org.